Aaron, guess who's back? So last time I said that my next video will be about my new project, and here it is. The idea of a new game was born in the end of the last summer, after I have watched my first ever anime. It was Attack on Titan. You might know that in the anime humans use this really cool thing called ODM gear to move around and fight titans. And I really wanted to create something like that in Unreal. Moreover, in that time I spent a lot of time playing Titanfall 2, so the idea of creating a movement-based game was the first one to come. Later, when I was making finishing touches on Forza the Horizon, I started a new project and finally decided to create a very fast multiplayer shooter game with grappling hooks as the main movement mechanic. I decided to name the game Exolien cause it seemed to sound cool. Yeah, that's the whole reason. This name seems to be used by some guy on Steam who was back banned 1600 days ago, but that's not the point. Let's get to the game itself. I wanted to get a game with some very cool movement mechanics, so I started prototyping them. The first thing I have done was grappling mechanic. You can shoot up to 2 grappling hooks at a time. They work in a very similar way to how they work in Apex or Titanfall. For those who does not know, the grappling hook pulls you both to the grapple point itself and in your facing direction. Then I added some camera tilting and wall running cause why not? I have seen some pretty good tutorials on YouTube about the creation of a grapple hook and wall running mechanics. I will probably link them in the description for those ones who are interested. After that I have tested the multiplayer part of this and moved on. After working a bit on the prototype, I wanted to get some visual pleasure from the process, and so I started creating a character for my game. I decided to try out the cel-shaded style for this project and I don't regret that. By the way, this was the first time I have created mood boards for my project, and I can say that it's pretty useful. Helps you to get a more clear understanding of what you want to get. So modeling took some time, but at the end I got a rigged character I called Lara and her armor as a separate match, so it can be reused for other characters. I have created a simple UV map and baked out textures, but I will most likely redo this part later. As for cel shading, I'm planning to create a separate video on this theme, so I won't cover it today. After modeling, there was animation. I have created a few animations such as flying and wall running and added them to my collection of Mixum animations. Then I have exported everything to Unreal and started setting the whole thing up. At the end I have got a true first-person character, perfectly replicating between players. Finally. When I was done with creating the character, I decided to add some guns. First, I modeled the weapon I called Stormfire and created some animations for it. This was the first time I have created reloading animations. That was easier than I thought, but yet rather hard. After modeling it, I have brought the gun to Unreal and started implementing it. First I added some shooting as it's kinda important for a gun. Then some aiming and particles for muzzle flashes and surface hits. And finally I added reloading. Again, I was trying to optimize the whole thing for multiplayer, so it required some testing. After dealing with guns, I found my movement system not so entertaining and fun, so I decided to modify it. First I added sliding like in Titanfall, and also made it work with grappling. So now you can slide around like a car. Cool! But grappling is still not very controllable, so I decided to make a use of that jetpack on the character's back, and now while grappled, you can move around left to right or up to down using fuel. Later I made it so that grappling hooks also spend fuel, but less. The fuel regenerates when you're not using your grapple hooks. So I have movement, guns and some simple damage system I added with weapons, but I have no way of displaying all of that. It's time to fix that. So I started creating the UI. First, I have created a concept of the HUD in Krita using my new graphics tablet. And after that I started implementing it. I have been changing the UI bit by bit during the whole process, so later you will see the final result. But first, what makes every game instantly cooler? Of course it's swords, and so I added ones. First, I modeled a sword. I also made it telescopic so it can be extended or collapsed. Then there was a long process of creating animations. It wasn't very hard, and in the end I got a set of some pretty animations. After bringing all of that to Unreal, I started writing some code. It has been a while since I have created a melee combat system, so it wasn't very fast. Anyway, I managed to bring everything I wanted to this mechanic. There are 2 types of attacks: quick attack, which can be triggered when you're using other weapons, and main attack, which is used when you're directly using melee weapons. Before performing the main attack, you have to hold the attack button to do a wind up. After that, if you release the button, you will attack. Additionally, if you're using a melee weapon, you can perform a block. For a short time you will block any damage incoming from where you look at. It means that every hit incoming from the back won't be blocked. After blocking, it will need some time before you can use it again. And here is the time when I have a rather good looking UI with some cool animations. So it's been quite a long devlog for me, and I think it's the time when we stop for today. I will try to create another video about cel shading as soon as possible, so subscribe if you don't want to miss it. So thanks for watching, see you next time, bye bye!